crypto. We got a couple different topics to talk about today. One of which is Richard Hart, right? Um, two of which is this Binance foot that's going on. There's so many different sides of it. I think the bottom line. Hold on a second. I got an echo here. There we go. All right, then got that up so I can see comments from everybody, and we're good to go. Let me share my screen here, and we're up and running. And let me not forget to share the audio this time. Bam, that's there. It's annoying. I have to check that. They should make it the other way around because you always want to share the audio. You don't sometimes not want to share the audio, so it should come pre-checked. I would know that as a software GUI guy, they should have it pre-checked. But anyway, um, let's get into Richard Hart first. Because Richard Hart, I think, is going to get into something that I keep hearing about Bitcoin. Everybody keeps saying that Bitcoin is going to hit 10K. And Richard keeps saying, okay, maybe Bitcoin hits 10K at some point. Who knows? Do we have any chart like evidence of this? I think everybody keeps saying we're in 2017, but to me, we're in 2019. That's what I think. We're in the same point, 2019, kind of before Bitcoin, like a year and some change before Bitcoin halved in 2021. I say we're in 2019 right now because that's kind of where we are chart wise. And again, just kind of like 2019, we had a little drop here in the November December area. To me, we're in 2019, but they keep saying that we're like in 2017 or in 2000. I don't know. I say that this is kind of where we are chart wise, and yes, we kind of have a cyclical thing with Bitcoin going on every 4 years. We see the pump that coincides with the Bitcoin halving, and I don't know how Satoshi set this up, but it also kind of coincides with presidential elections. So there's some thought, some really serious thought that went into this, and very, very smart things there by Satoshi in the way that he set this up in the 4 year cycle. It just happens to coincide with regime changes in the US. So that's pretty interesting that he set it up that way. Um, I thought that Satoshi may be dead, but someone was letting me know since I'm becoming like almost a maxi, even though I'm an altcoin guy, that Satoshi has, whoever is Satoshi, has like 5% of his coins still there. I guess that could mean Satoshi is still dead, could be dead, right? But somebody else has control of that 5%. 5% of the supply of Bitcoin. Um, Satoshi has it in a wallet somewhere, or the family of Satoshi has it in a wallet somewhere. So still doesn't change Bitcoin's bullish thesis to me. But Richard gets into that a little bit, and he gets into some other things kind of that we need to kind of talk about too. So let's just get into that interview here. Shout out to Paul Barron and the Paul Barron Network. He did an excellent. This is like the best interview I've seen with Richard, because he pulls them back like 85 times and asks them like concrete and real questions. So this is like seriously the best, one of the best Richard interviews that I've seen, because you can get to really see how damn smart Richard Hart is. Um, Dude's definitely a genius. Let's see who we got in the house over here. What's up, Regan? Regan Mack, what's up? Sinuel Boy, what's up? Rashu, what's up? DT from London, freezing over there. I was just talking to some of my colleagues over in Germany. Y'all know I was there for a bit. They're freezing their butts off. What's up, Litmo Crypto? What's up, Todd Malik? What's going on? Okay, Regan saying he seemed off his stuff on this interview. So I don't know. Maybe I need to check out more Richard Hart interviews, but he seemed damn sharp to me in this interview. I don't like the baby face though. Like I feel, come on, like as a man, you need to continue with the beard. You know what I mean? Like the baby face, I don't truck with that. But you know, to each his own, right? To each his own, right? But right here, Richard's going to mention something about liquidated coins, and I think it's something we should talk about a little bit because I didn't think we see. I really, and I kind of still don't think we'll see a path to a 10K Bitcoin. But of all the different arguments I've seen about a 10K Bitcoin, um, he gave the best argument that I've seen about us possibly reaching a 10K Bitcoin, and he's going to talk about it, and I'm going to review it right after he says something about it right here. Okay, so let's listen into this. Let me make sure I got my volume up. And our volume up here. Okay, so we're good to go. Hopefully it's not too choppy. We'll see.
Everything's down. It's the bear market, guys. What do you think? You're back to a year and a half ago's price. Everything's back to a year and a half ago's price. We'll accept it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Richard. When you look at the market right now, if we were to lose a major, and I say lose, if someone else were to go down, what would that do to the overall industry as a whole?
A year and a half ago, I told you Bitcoin was going to 10K. Has Bitcoin hit 10K yet? No, it hasn't.
There you go.
It hasn't hit Richard's price target yet. And why wouldn't it hit 10K? Right now, Grayscale Bitcoin's half off. You can buy encapsulated Bitcoin from Grayscale for half price. And they own 3% of all the Bitcoin. And as a percentage of total available actual float, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So you haven't seen the Bitfinex coins liquidated. $1 billion or $2 there. You haven't seen the Silk Road hackers coins liquidated. $1 billion there. You haven't seen the Mt. Gox $1 billion or $2 or $3 coins handed out yet. The plus token Ponzi coins from China, not even sure what happened with those ones. None of those have been sold yet. So the dream is all those centralized counterparties that you don't really want to make rich, the seized coins that the governments are holding, let them sell the bottom. Sell the bottom. Sell 10K. Cool.
Okay. So that was it. And I kind of did it at Blackrue speed because that's how I listen to stuff. We'll go listen back to it at 1.25. All right. Let's go. All those coins need to be liquidated. Now, I'm not sure that all of those coins are going to get liquidated. He mentioned 3 different things like Mt. Gox, Bitfinex, or Bittrex, Bittrex, Mt. Gox, and Silk Road. I believe most of those coins people are just holding on to. Like the Silk Road coins, the U.S. government is holding on to. So as much as we're down in Bitcoin, understand the U.S. government is holding a hell of a lot of Bitcoin from that whole Silk Road thing. They gave some to I think it was Tim Draper or whatever, or somebody. They gave some to someone, but it wasn't the whole cash. Someone bought some of them at an auction, but they're still holding on to a dang on ton of Silk Road coins. But let's listen to that one more time because it might have been a little bit too fast for folks. And I think I went, no, I didn't go back too far. Here we go.
No, it hasn't.
There you go.
It hasn't hit Richard's price target yet. And why wouldn't it hit 10K? Right now, Grayscale Bitcoin is half off. You can buy encapsulated Bitcoin from Grayscale for half price. And they own 3% of all the Bitcoin. And as a percentage of total available actual float, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So you haven't seen the Bitfinex coins liquidated. $1 billion or $2 there. You haven't seen the Silk Road hackers coins liquidated. $1 billion there. You haven't seen the Mt. Gox $1 billion or $2 or $3 coins handed out yet. The plus token Ponzi coins from China, not even sure what happened with those ones. None of those have been sold yet. So the dream is all those centralized counterparties that you don't really want to make rich, the seized coins that the governments are all holding, let them sell the bottom.
So he mentioned 4 different incidents, but all of the coins that he mentioned, I believe, are being held on by governments. So Silk Road, I know the U.S. has most of those coins. They auctioned off a bit of them, but they have those coins. So to me, I've mentioned this like a long time ago, like a year ago. U.S. government's kind of speaking out of both sides of its mouth about Bitcoin and crypto because they're sitting on a huge stack of Bitcoin. So there's no way that they want that asset to be zero, right? There's no way that they want that asset to be zero. Um, so, and Richard touched on it, the governments are holding these seized coins. However, if someone were to liquidate those coins, then maybe we see Bitcoin go down to 10K. That's the only way that I see that. But I doubt that these governments liquidate it because they know the true power of Bitcoin. So um, let's let him go on a little bit more here because we're going to see him talk about Celsius coins because the Celsius stack also needs to be liquidated.
Sell the bottom, sell 10K. Cool. Let's say I get liquidated. Ladies, liquor, and leverage on me. That's how you lose your stack. By the way, I'll tell you that trading is the worst thing you can do. How did FTX lose all their money? Trading. How did Three Arrows Capital lose all their money? Trading. Because they thought they were smarter than me. I didn't.
He's not wrong with the trading there. He's not wrong. However, if you see certain catalysts, it's not bad to trade coins. But this gets us into a whole nother rabbit hole that we have to go over. And King and Zay did a good job of talking about it on an episode of Gentlemen of Crypto here. The derivatives market. That's a whole nother thing of the FTX saga that we just really haven't even covered because it's kind of a complicated subject to cover. We'll talk about a little bit about the derivatives market in just a second, but he's not wrong by saying that trading is how these people got in trouble. But these people were trading on a higher and on a completely higher, completely different level because they were trading derivatives, which meant they can manipulate price, and they didn't even necessarily need to have the coins to manipulate price. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I just wanted to point out he's not wrong in saying that they were trading and the trading got them in trouble. But it's always good when you're trading to trade two catalysts, like how we're trading to the XRP catalyst, right? The case is going to end at some point. Litecoin's gonna they're gonna have their halving coming up next year in 2023. Bitcoin's gonna have its halving coming up in 2024. Dash is gonna have their halving coming up in 2023. It's okay to trade, but you gotta know where your catalyst is and have an exit plan for your catalyst. But these people, they were trading on derivatives and doing different things to manipulate coin prices. So they're trading on an entirely different level than a regular normal person would be able to trade to. And we're going to speak to that in a second here. But let's let Richard go on here.
I lose all my money. I'm doing really good. Really, 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 really good. These guys lost all their money. Grand champion.
Grand champion. I like it. We should have an applause track right there, guys. What happened? Yeah. So Richard, let me ask you that. Back to the question. Binance creators, what does that do to crypto?
Great. Dump it. Sell it. Sell all your coins. Make a new bottom.
So you feel that...
Get out. Sell all your coins. Let's go. Give me a capitulation wick. Haven't seen one of those in a while. It would have been nice to get a capitulation wick back in 2018 instead of the bump and run bottom that we got. I would have loved a deep, nasty wick. You know, why not? let me tell you why I haven't been getting them, by the way. FTX lost all their coins. So guess what? When they fail, there's no coins to sell. The coins are already gone. So it doesn't hurt the price because the coins are already gone.
Yeah.
Oh, Celsius files for bankruptcy. Guess what? They're not selling the coins.
Exactly.
When am I going to see some sell pressure, right? I don't want to see another restructuring bankruptcy.
So that's the thing. If certain entities that are like getting jacked up here, if their coins are sold, that could create enough sell pressure to get Bitcoin down to 10K. So if someone sells those Celsius coins in order and liquidates that in order to make people whole, then maybe we can have enough sell pressure to have Bitcoin get down to 10K. But I seriously doubt, and he mentioned four other ones, the Mount Gox, Silk Road, Bittrex. Um, I seriously doubt that those coins are going to get sold. I think the governments are just going to hold on to those coins because they see where cryptocurrency is going. But that's the best argument anyone has made to me or that I've seen for us to actually get down to a 10K Bitcoin. Other than that, I don't see it. And we just went over the chart here. To me, chart wise, we're in the same place we were in 2019. But one other thing, Bitcoin, Richard mentions here about Bitcoin and different things about the blockchain is the throughput problem. And let's go over that right quick. I think it's here at 26 minutes. They end up having a conversation about watches, and I don't really want to hear anything about that. I think this is here, right here. So let's try it and see.
So
sure.
We've pushed, sharding on Ethereum is late.
Okay, yep, that's it. But I need to go back a little bit further.
Factory. But look, Rolex makes 1 million watches a year. Patek makes 20K.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
It's a 50x difference.
Let's talk about technology moving forward, because you've got Ethereum, which is, I believe, their shift obviously over to proof of stake, the model in which Ethereum could go in the next 10 years. You look back, that's still somewhat of a dated technology, in comparison.
Oh my God, proof of stake failed. You can just flip it back to proof of work.
No, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. What I'm getting at is, do you think there is the potential for a revolution around a next generation blockchain product, service, software, whatever we want to call it, that could displace the power of what we have created so far? What do you think?
You start running into computer science problems that are unsolved. There's a cap theorem that's like, you can either have redundancy or low latency or some other thing. And then there's you can either have throughput or security. You can either there's all these trade-offs you can't get around in normal life. Do you want good, fast, and cheap? Pick any two.
Yeah.
Okay, so throughput and security, that's a serious problem. But we're going to go on and listen to Richard here and get back to that.
And that's it. And you can't, it's very, very, very hard to overcome. Yeah. So
for sure.
We've pushed, sharding on Ethereum is late by 10 years or something.
Yeah, exactly.
7 years, something like that. It could be easily another 7 years before you get sharding. And that's the only real throughput increase thing. You could hope for composability across L2s. I'm sure everyone listening knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a genius, but you guys listening, probably retarded. Sorry. So half the stuff I say, you're going to have to Google it. Go Google blockchain composability, okay? It means that one chain can talk to another chain. So for instance, Pulse Chain, the copy of Ethereum, will be lightly composable against Ethereum by using bridges. So you do your computation on Pulse Chain very cheaply, and then you can bridge over to Ethereum when you need. And then if you don't need, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So bridges are kind of what we have for interchain composability now.
Right. What are your thoughts?
And let me tell you, billions of dollars have been lost to bridges, which is nice because with Pulse Chain, you already get a copy on the other side. You don't have to bridge over. Your stuff's already there for free. Yeah. So that's really cool. It reduces attack surface.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on, I have a lot to go in. I don't want to get too far into ZK AVMs and what that might look like in the future, because there are some potentials there. There's some good movement in the space.
Hope so.
Tech updates.
Please give us some anonymity, please. Big anonymity set, please, God. You cannot.
So that's the next thing, and anonymity. Anonymity is very important, like privacy, because the blockchain ledger exposes everyone to everyone else's transactions, and that's cool. But what happens to I'm paying my employees, and I might not want employee X to know what employee Y is making, because that's kind of personal. And if I get employee X at a discount from what I get employee Y from, employee Y doesn't need to know that, or employee X doesn't need to know that he's at a discount from what Y is making. So anonymity and some, or privacy and some cases is needed.
Not have a capitalist society without privacy. It is not okay that your customer has to disclose. In Ethereum, when you send someone money, they have a record of any transactions you've ever done, ever, period.
Yep.
Who sent, when, what went out, what went in, your total balance. So imagine if you paid your employees from a single account. Oh, now everybody knows everybody else's salaries. Imagine you paid your distributors. Oh, everybody
knows the contract.
Nonsensical.
Yeah,
you
doesn't
need
work.
Privacy. You need.
Right. So you don't necessarily want other, like, say, your contractors to know, like, okay, I got this contract at a discount, or I got this contract for way over what I needed to pay it. Like, so in certain senses, privacy is needed in that way. Not even talking about like a human rights way where it's like, okay, government, I don't need to pay you all my taxes for everything all the time. Like certain things, like if I'm just making an in-kind purchase with someone, if I'm just trading skills with someone, okay, like you shouldn't have to tax that. Like, and people do that so that they don't get taxed. Like, okay, I'll fix your computer and you fix my car and we're even or whatever. So they went through a lot right there. So the whole liquidated coins thing, the whole privacy issue thing. Let's go to throughput before we go to the whole derivative stuff. But let's see who's in the house and what you guys have to say about that, because that was a lot. That was really a lot in a short amount of time. Let me go get. Okay. Rain Mac. Did I say Rain Mac? I thought that's what I said. My bad. Um, like you can't stop the rain. I think I said that. I don't know. I'm sorry. Rain Mac. London is cold. As cold as Germany for sure. It's Rain Mac. What up? Now Heart has been a lot better than that. Trust me, this is not his best. Okay. All right. I gotta check out some Richard Hart interviews then. Um, I made money the last few days shorting BTC. All right, Courtney Johnson. Shorting is just so risky though. Shout out, hats off to you for making money shorting BTC. But I gotta tell you, it can be very risky with shorting. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get liquidated a lot. So I tend to kind of try to stay away from that. But shout out to you for making money there. I appreciate. Like shout out. Um, these bankrupt exchanges ain't making people whole. Only VCs will be made whole, and that's something that Richard said in the interview as well. What's up, Jay? Everything. Um, and then use Tornado Cash. I agree, but there was nothing that Hart hasn't said before. Okay, got you. I don't listen to a lot of Richard Hart video interviews. I listened to a couple, but I think this really shows Richard's intelligence. I didn't know, like a lot of interviews, I just see him flossing. So this was a really and for people that like don't understand the slang, a lot of interviews I just see him gloating or just saying, oh, I have this, I'm I'm I have a lot of money. On a lot of interviews I just see him gloating and basically praising his own wealth. um, I never. This is the first time I really got to see Richard and his smarts on display. So yeah, but let's get to throughput just in case, because I like to break down these terms so people know what's going on. So throughput. This is the best definition I found. Throughput is a measure of how many units of information of a system can process in a given amount of time. So basically, it's how much information a machine can process in time. So if you want something to be fast, you're probably going to give up security to get the fastness. Okay. So that's why you got the whole kind of blockchain trilemma, about, okay, how is it going to be fast, have cheap gas, and be secure at the same time? And Richard mentioned that whole trilemma and like how I think he said cheap, good, and something else. Pick two, right? Um, Same goes with the blockchain trilemma. So where were we now? So yeah, so Ethereum has a huge throughput problem in which different side chains have solved it in different ways. But what Richard's saying is the best way to kind of improve throughput from a computer science kind of way is sharding. And to get Ethereum to sharding, it might take like 7 years. So that's that. But let's look at this. This Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Let's look at this derivative problem because it's a huge, huge problem. Now, if you guys are not aware of what all went on with FTX, FTX also sold derivatives on things and they jacked up token prices by making like derivatives and almost synthetic coins. That's a huge argument. You know what? I think I'll just hold that off for another day, because just a thick argument, and I want to make sure that I have some receipts, and I don't have all those receipts right now. But let's talk a little bit about Binance. So CZ went around on in CSNBC talking, and a lot of this stuff with Binance, to me, I believe is just a deflection away from FTX and all the problems that FTX has going on. So shout out to the Crypto Visor. He was talking about this before we listen to a lot of clips. I want to show you the clip that he had and he was listening to. Um, this girl at CS, not I shouldn't say girl because that's demeaning for her because she's a grown woman. But this grown woman is up here rolling her eyes, so very disrespectful. And let's just listen to this clip right quick, and you guys let me know here what you think about it, and I'm going to build on this once we're finished. All right, it's not playing for me, even though I'm pressing the play button. Let me just back out of here right quick and press it right here.
Right here. This CZ clip is going viral but lacks context, according to Luke Martin, who's venture queenist on Twitter. The question that was asked of CZ was, could Binance handle someone asking for $2.1 billion back? CZ avoids the question directly, saying we are financially strong. But this wasn't about customer deposits. It was about $2.1 billion that FTX paid to them. Essentially, in this clip, I'm going to show you a piece of the clip. CNBC asked CZ, and again, this is taken out of context, this specific clip. They basically asked CZ that FTX gave Binance about $2 billion to buy them out of their FTX ownership. And basically what CNBC was saying is during the bankruptcy proceedings, there could be clawbacks or people asking for their money back because it was fraudulently obtained, right? What if that $2 billion was customer funds? And basically CNBC.
Now, mind you, they're not talking about the freaking money that the politicians got. They're talking about clawing back money from CZ, who was paid out of his position of FTX. So it's very calculated what they're doing here and putting things on the Binance to get the whole heat off of FTX. It's very calculated. Getting the heat off of FTX, getting the heat off Gary Gensler, getting the heat off the US government, and placing it solely on Binance, on a person who happens to be Chinese, who, they always have this ongoing thing with China, right? So understand, this is very, very calculated in what they're doing here. with CZ. But I digress. Let me let's finish hearing this out.
CNBC was saying to Binance, would you give the money back? Do you have $2 billion to give back if they ask for it back because it was stolen money? And CZ said, well, we're financially stable. Now, these Bitcoin maximalists and people who are calling for Binance to go under were using this clip to make it seem like Binance and CZ were avoiding the question whether they have $2.1 billion. But I believe that he answered the question appropriately, because he's saying basically the lawyers will handle it. If people want to claw back $2 billion that they bought Binance out of the FTX stake, the lawyers will handle it. CZ is not going to say, yeah, we'll give back $2 billion. That would be ridiculous. So let's listen.
I agree with him on there. I agree with him on it. They're saying they're going to claw back $2 billion from him. Let the lawyers handle it. Like, I'm not just going to give y'all $2 billion back when that was my paid stake in FTX that they paid me. If anything, why aren't they talking about the government who got donations from FTX, or Gary Gensler and all the stuff that he was doing with FTX? All this different stuff, like Kevin O'Leary and how he was paid by FTX. Not CZ getting back his stake that he gave FTX when they were just starting as a business. No. But it's calculated because you're going after the guy to make him look like a villain, to paint him as a villain, and to misdirect from, because America sometimes, to me, I love America, but sometimes to me they're the land of misdirection. So they're misdirecting completely off of Gary Gensler, off of Sam Bankman-Fried, off of the Democrats and Republicans who received donations, and putting it solely on the Chinese person. And he's actually Canadian, but he's of Chinese descent. Anyway.
And I want you guys to hear how they're utilizing this out of context to make CZ look like he doesn't have money, or Binance doesn't have money.
We want to be transparent. We want to set the golden standard for reliability, solidness in the space.
So do it. Would you be able to handle it if somebody asked you for $2.1 billion back? Would that be okay? Would you be able to still withstand things?
We're financially okay.
Including you have $2.1 billion to give away. If somebody came to claw that back, you'd still be fine?
We'll let the lawyers handle it. We are financially strong.
So she rolls her eyes, but I mean, why should Binance have to answer that, right? Sam Bankman was taking stolen customer funds and then buying Binance out. And everybody's trying to make Binance seem like they're the bad guy here. Even Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, said in front of Congress that Binance is the one that brought down FTX. No, FTX didn't have any money. They were stealing money, right? I don't know how much clearer it needs to be. So again, we're not gonna be really talking about FTX because I get hyped.
I agree with that. I agree totally with what he's saying. And that was disrespectful as that was really disrespectful, her little eye roll. Give that eye roll to Sam Bankman-Fried and all the stuff that he did stealing customer funds. It definitely should be in CZ's direction for getting back the money that they did. They gave FTX when they were growing as a business. Come on now. But there's another clip with a with a less disrespectful person talking to CZ about that whole thing. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, here it is. And he says the same thing, but it doesn't come off the same way, because you don't have this disrespectful person saying, well, do it then if you're going to be leaders in the space, or have a person up there rolling their eyes. It doesn't come off the same way. That was highly unprofessional how she was acting, and very just disrespectful. But guess what? People will eat that up, and people, because of the way that she was acting, think that Binance is in the wrong, but they're not. But listen, let's listen to this one, because it's going to come off totally different in the way. It's going to come off totally different. So let's listen to this right quick.
let's go just back to the specifics here. In 21, Sam Bankman-Fried said that he bought you out, your stake in the company. I imagine he transferred funds to you, likely somewhere between $2 and $3 billion. Is that right?
I remember it was $2.1 billion at the time, and
Okay.
a big chunk of that is in FTT tokens, which are now worthless.
So he sent you FTT tokens, and you believe that the majority of the $2.1 billion was that?
It's a combination of, I believe it was a combination of BUSD, BNB, and FTT. I don't know the exact combination now, but it's probably about, I don't remember exactly, but FTT is a big chunk. And that's why we still had, like, even after the FTT price dropped over the last year, we still had $500 million worth of it. $580 million worth of it on the day when we transferred from the address we received a year and a half ago. We never touched it. We actually kind of forgot about it. And then we transferred it on the blockchain from that address we received to Binance.com, and that got picked up by the community. So in this industry, everything's very transparent.
Well, but my question to you is, both a bankruptcy judge and potentially others could seek, like they did in the case of Bernie Madoff, frankly, to seek to claw back that money. Are you prepared to send that money to them? And by the way, I mean, and maybe this is a risk to your firm. Some will measure it as the value of FTT today. Some may measure it on the value of FTT at the time. So if you had to send a check in U.S. dollars for $2.1 billion, could you?
So I think we'll leave that to the lawyers. I think our legal team is perfectly capable of handling it. My expectation, though, just from common logic, is that there was a lot of spendings after that transaction in the more recent times. FTF's done to Miami, football stadiums, referees, sponsors.
So he's right. And look, they did a lot of spending after that. Buying football stadiums. Are you going to claw that back? They paid Kevin O'Leary $15 million. You going to claw that back? They paid people like Meet Kevin and Graham Stephan like $50K a month to promote them. You clawing that back? But no, it's very convenient to go after Binance. And by the way, this guy was way more professional with the way he approached the interview than the way the lady approached the interview. I don't know what to say about her. I'm if that's the way she's acting, she shouldn't have that job. She really shouldn't have that job. That's not it's not professional. It's not let's go to you guys, see what you guys think about that. But like I said last night, if I can pull that up before I go to you guys very quick. It's on TradingView. You can go to exchanges here and go to spot. So spot trading, Binance has $10 trillion in 24-hour revenue. 10 trillion. That's why when he said, 580 million, we kind of forgot about that. He's not really flexing, but he's just telling it like it is. He's just telling the truth. We kind of forgot about that 580 million because we get $10 trillion in trading value every day. 580 million, whatever. Let's see here, and you can see, Coinbase, which is the next one in score, has a 1.4 trillion. They have over 5 times the amount of Coinbase. And if we look at trading value here, you can add up almost the top 4 after them, and you finally get the amount of volume that Binance has in a day. So when you count that they're getting all of these fees, it seems to me like they're going to be perfectly fine. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me see here. I got a lot of windows up here, so it's going to take me a little bit to find it. Yeah, he started flossing because nobody else was starting to take notice of him, and when he was displaying smarts or giving clarity. I know how that. I know. I get that. I really get that. People only take notice of the toys you got. That's very true. That's very true. Rain Mac. That's very true. He sounded horrible on CNBC. Uh, so he was right. He needs to talk to the lawyers. Like, I, I would put it like that too. Like, I'm gonna let the lawyers handle it because what else is he gonna say? Like, if they try to claw back money from me, well, we're just gonna give them $2 billion back. That sets a bad precedent. You really don't want to say that. So to me, yeah, just I'll let the lawyers work it out. If they're gonna claw back $2 billion from us, sure, the lawyers will work that out. Yes, let the lawyers do what they. Yeah, exactly. They are Kevin for breakfast on. Okay, yeah, they ate them for breakfast on CNBC. Yeah, Gentlemen of Crypto showed that, and that was hilarious how he like kind of set him up. Like Kevin was like, I got into crypto in 2018. And he's like, oh really? Because here in 2019 it says you said Bitcoin sucks or something like that. So he set him up real nice. Um, Right. So it's very interesting how, of course, they're trying to paint CZ out to be the bad guy. There's some very interesting stuff there. See here. Okay, so another take at it. This is Chico Crypto, and he shows kind of CZ fumbling on part of the interview. But again, it was with the disrespectful woman who was being all snotty and haughty, right? But let's look at his little take on it.
Well, isn't this just convenient? CZ was on CNBC yesterday and was asked why his exchange didn't do a full audit and proof of reserve. Let's watch CZ squirm and say the Big Four doesn't know how to audit a crypto exchange. Let's listen in.
But audits don't reveal every problem. So
No, but an audit from a Big Four auditor would reveal that, CZ. If you could get a Big Four auditor to say that, if you're saying that some of them don't want to work with you, that raises questions too. They don't want to work with you because you don't have the files and the data that would make them feel comfortable signing off and giving that stamp of approval?
Actually, many of them don't even know how to audit crypto exchanges. They don't really when they audit, they're very used to auditing a firm.
CZ is obviously squirming, stuttering left and right throughout that entire question.
They don't really when they audit, they're very used to auditing a firm.
And then he says the Big Four don't have the skills to audit his exchange. All I have to say is laugh out loud, because if they were audited, it would be revealed BNB chain is a honeypot used for wash trading. And the Big Four doesn't know how to audit crypto companies and exchanges? Deloitte is a Big Four auditor, and as we can see, they have blockchain services on their website. They even have a section on their website titled An Internal Auditor's Guide to Auditing Blockchain. The same goes for another Big Four, Ernst & Young. They offer blockchain services, including many blockchain auditing tools, even a blockchain reconciler. Again, why no audit when these guys can obviously do it?
So that was another thing. He took down the auditing that this one company did for them. And Richard Hart kind of touched on that in his interview too. He's like, oh, an audit from a guy that we don't even know who they are. Okay, whatever. I'm kind of leaning a little bit more in like, okay, what else would you expect him to say about the whole like 2.1 billion thing? So what about the audit? They're getting, let's go back to that again, $10 trillion of daily volume. They're fine. Like, they're getting fees from all of this. They're fine. Now, if you want to talk about him removing the audit, that does sound fishy. You want to talk about him possibly doing wash trading and, you know, the SEC coming after him for different things, which they do. They are coming after him after stuff. I think Binance, SEC, and Cointelegraph. They mentioned that in the interview with Richard Hart again. Also, Cointelegraph seems to have a thing for coming after Binance, it seems. I don't know where that article is here. Okay, here it is. Um, like they say that they might be doing stuff with Russia, different types of things. Um, but at the end of the day, again, they have $10 trillion. I keep having to say that because like a lot of us, like you can't even conceptualize like how much $1 trillion is when you look at a million, a billion, and a trillion. It's just even hard to conceptualize. Um, but yeah, I'm sure they're going to try to come after him for certain different things. But at the end of the day, they're making so much money. I don't think it's a problem for them to hold customer funds one to one. It just isn't. Um, Let me see what you guys have to say about what Chico proposed here. I saw a video recently where CZ said they're extremely liquid. He stated that if he wanted to collect fees from CoinMarketCap and Trust Wallet, okay, if he needed it, right, right. I agree. Like, and Courtney Johnson just brought up a very good point. He could, if he wanted to, collect fees from CoinMarketCap, which we were just using, and Trust Wallet if he wanted to. So he has other avenues to grab fees and grab more money if he wants. And then some say allegedly that he's connected to the Chinese government. So if he really wanted to, and I think Minho mentioned that on Zay and King's live, the F Bitcoin Friday live. So if he allegedly wanted to make a call to the Chinese government, he could do that. So he has multiple streams on which he can call on if he really, really wants to. But with all of that volume, I don't think he needs to. CZ should sue some of them like O'Leary. Money is the only language they understand. That's true. That's like the Forex market, 10 trillion. Yeah, 10 trillion, that's just an insane amount of money. Um, yeah, it's just an insane amount of money. Let's see if we can pull up the gentleman of crypto here, and maybe because it seems like we got a good 30 minutes. We got us some time to maybe go over that whole derivatives conversation. Because I think King really sums it up and really good in the live. And shout out to the gentleman of crypto. All right, come on, load now. Okay, let's go right over there. So I have a timestamp here. So it'd be good to listen to this right quick. It's King's last live. Bear with me here as I pull it up. Okay, I believe it's this one. So let's pull it up right quick. have timestamp around a 20-minute mark. So let's make sure this is it. It's taking a little bit to load.
Yes, and they're going to do ETFs and Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah, we might have to go just a couple minutes back.
Bitcoin futures going to continue and all this stuff. This.
Okay, yeah, let's go a couple minutes back here.
What are your thoughts on that, Jose?
Yeah, so one thing I know about the financial market, historically speaking, is anytime they want to control a market, they take the real asset and they give you pieces of paper. Anybody that remembers the gold era back in the 30s, when they took all the gold and put it into the bank, people, they were saying, oh yeah, give us your gold, we'll give you this piece of paper that says that you own it. Same thing they're trying to do with Bitcoin, same thing they did with gold markets, silver markets, commodities markets. They take the real asset and then they give you a piece of paper saying that, oh yeah, we'll give it back to you one day. They're just trying to do the same thing with Bitcoin. The problem is we're seeing all that paper Bitcoin fall by the wayside. And a lot of the companies that are using these derivatives, they're getting away with it for now. But at some point, people always show up for their money if they don't really trust in the project. So that's what we're seeing. I mean, it's just derivative on top of derivative. So it's ridiculous.
And we said this was going to happen when they started doing the whole futures. Like when they started talking Bitcoin futures, we were like, here we go. Bitcoin ETFs and futures, while it'll be great for semi-great for mass adoption, it'll be terrible. Literally, people, we need to understand that all this BS they're talking right now, the Senate, they're going to talk all this BS and they're going to do ETFs and Bitcoin futures going to continue and all this stuff. This is all terrible for the market. This having Bitcoin futures and derivatives and ETFs is literally the exact same thing to me as FTX having an FTT token and buying that token with the money you all give it.
In fact, King, it is the exact same thing. It is the exact same thing. That is exactly what FTX did. They had a derivatives market. And that also brings a whole other thing into purview there. FTX had to buy like a bank to have this whole derivatives trading thing work out. So that bank did not check their reserves or how much cash they had, which shows you just how connected Sam Bankman-Fried was, right? So they got this whole license to have a bank to run a derivatives trading, and they never checked any of their assets. Shows you this goes way higher than. Let me just stop. So let me go back a little second here, because King is exactly right. It's exactly the same thing.
For semi-great for mass adoption, it'll be terrible. Literally, people, we need to understand that all this BS they're talking right now, the Senate, they're going to talk all this BS and they're going to do ETFs and Bitcoin futures going to continue and all this stuff. This is all terrible for the market. This having Bitcoin futures and derivatives and ETFs is literally the exact same thing to me as FTX having an FTT token and buying that token with the money you all give it and then going back to buy other things. It is literally going to create a house of cards that will come tumbling down because it will make no sense for one Bitcoin to have. You remember Bitcoin's divisible to up to 100 million. So you can have people, the type of derivatives you can have on one Bitcoin. Oh, it's scary. I'm talking about you may be able to have, and this is no exaggeration, one day, at least millions, but possibly billions of dollars of derivatives on one Bitcoin. I'm talking one Bitcoin having a derivative market of billions of dollars around that one Bitcoin. That may be the possibilities in the future. So that to me kind of is going to be scary, because then we're going to get out of Bitcoin on the forefront. It's going to be like gold, and everybody's going to be talking these derivative IOUs like, well, I got Bitcoin ETFs, or I got Bitcoin bonds, I got Bitcoins. It's going to be like, you just got everything but Bitcoin. So you keep giving your money to a bunch of people who keep using it to buy Bitcoin. This is like literally what Terra Luna tried to do. So I'm with you, Michael. I think we'll see it again. Any last ones, Michael, before we get out of here?
So that's a major thing, these whole derivatives markets. And it's a thing why usury, interest, is illegal in certain religions. Like it's sinful, or it's haram in certain religions, because you keep making these derivative things, and it's something that's really fake. It's something that really the people who own the derivatives get taken advantage of, and people who own the actual real thing, they just sit back and collect money. Like, okay, let's keep giving you this fake thing. Doesn't matter, we got the real thing. So that's even a bigger conversation. We should have another conversation about that later, where I actually show y'all receipts from SBF having a whole like derivative platform, and he got this license, and they're supposed to do a audit and everything to give you a license to do that, but somehow he got one, right? So shows how connected he is while they're talking about CZ, right? Um, Whole nother rabbit hole that we're gonna have to go like fully down one day. But again, I'm gonna get into it a little bit on Rockfin. I have a live coming up with some guys, and we're gonna talk about the whole SBF thing and the whole effective altruism thing, which is an entirely another rabbit hole that we're getting down with this whole FTX thing, and a guy called William McCaskill, who's highly related to this whole religion of effective altruism. It's a deep rabbit hole, but I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to get down to that on another day. Shout out to Rockfin. Definitely, guys, if you haven't already, come check me out here on Rockfin. We alternative subjects over here, and I just did a episode over here on Rockfin that I really think everyone should listen to. I kind of break down the 7 hermetic principles and how they apply to investing. And over here, of course, I've talked about different things like the Kanye and Lex thing, a whole bunch of different things over here. FTX's Ukrainian connection, which is another great video. We also got into the 7 hermetic principles here. There's a great video as well, and you can see here those hermetic principle videos are free videos. You don't have to subscribe to Rockfin Premium. Let me give you guys the link to that. So if you want to go over there, make an account, right click, you can. What's up, Virgo El Unico in the house? I'm not trying to defend CZ, but English is not his native language. He probably flustered trying to. That's a very good point, brother. That's a very good point. Especially how she was acting snotty and hitting him with questions and making faces and all of that. Because really, the real universal language besides math is body language. The type of body language that she was giving that man was very, very highly disrespectful and really haughty, really like she was some authority or whatever, and it was entirely disrespectful when you compare the body language she was giving and the body language that the other guy was giving. Like really, I don't know how she's a journalist, but of course that type of body language is going to appeal to a lot of people and make them think that he is some type of scammer. So she did her job, so to speak. If the job was to make FTX look bad, or I'm sorry, if the job was to make CZ look bad and Binance look bad and to get the heat off of FTX, then she did her job perfectly. But as far as if the professionalism, she epically failed there. But mad, good, very good point, Virgo El Unico. That is not English is not his native language, and the stuff that she was hitting him with, both body language wise and disrespect wise, that probably put him even more on an offensive or more on a defensive, and English not being his first language. That's a very good point there. Thanks for pointing that out, brother. I would like to see the interviewers answer rapid fire, mostly charged questions in Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic. Got some feedback on my side. Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I'll move my microphone up here. All right. Hopefully that'll help. And one other thing too, to Virgo El Unico's point here, let me pop up my channel, darkhorsewatcher.com. I did an interview with Robert Mao. Robert Mao is also of Chinese descent, and I think we had a really nice interview. But I tried to let him get his ideas out. You notice I didn't really interrupt him much once I asked him a question, because I'd seen other interviews with Robert Mao where when he got interrupted or when certain things happened, it did make him uncomfortable about his English. And he went and he even said in these other interviews, like, okay, English isn't my first language, so I'm always worried about how my English is coming out or how I'm relating topics to people. So what Virgo El Unico is saying should really be, it's a really good point. But that reminds me to tell people, really check out the interview I did with Robert Mao here on the Art Block. He dropped some nice knowledge nuggets, and he went into something that he would even went into something about a possible thing with Starlink. So definitely check that out. And he also was saying that Art Block's focus is on digital IDs. Digital IDs are definitely something that's going to be a thing in the future, but we'll have to have a conversation about digital IDs on Rockfin, because when you put digital IDs together with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and carbon credits, you have a position in which digital IDs, carbon credits, and what was it? Digital IDs, carbon credits, and CBDCs can be programmable, in which maybe the government says, okay, you've hit your carbon credit limit, you can no longer purchase things. In that aspect, maybe then you would want to have crypto. You would want to have crypto self-custody on a wallet, on a ledger or something where, okay, if the government ever said you couldn't use this money tied to your digital ID, you could still use money via crypto and maybe a strike, or maybe just like with a QR code, you could still buy things that way. So that's something to note. Ooh, I still got that feedback happening. I don't know what I'm doing here where I'm getting the feedback like this. Let me see if I can adjust on this side of things here. Actually, I'm not going to touch it because I don't know what'll happen. I'm so sorry about the feedback, guys. Okay, went back. Okay, good. Listen, guys, let's focus on the good projects and make money. All this FTX stuff is distractions. Yeah, it is a distraction. It really is. But something to note about that, DT. I was talking to someone, right, and there was this headline. There was this headline where it was like, Shaq distances himself from crypto. And the person I was talking to, they were like, I would have, if I didn't know you and didn't watch your videos and different things, I would see the headline and I would see that Shaq distances himself from crypto. And I would think, okay, Shaq's a good businessman. He's very, he seems to make all the right moves, right? So I would see that Shaq distances himself from crypto. And since I don't have as much experience with crypto, I would think, okay, I would now need to distance myself from crypto. So one of the reasons I bring up this stuff about FTX and SBF and stuff like that is, okay, when you guys are talking with your families and different people that might not necessarily know about crypto, and they might say, okay, crypto's a scam. I heard Shaq was distancing himself from it, or I heard Tom Brady or whatever was distancing himself from it, because FTX was equal opportunity. They went to Stephen Curry, Shaq got the black community covered. They went to Larry David, got the community covered. They went to Tom Brady, got like, you know, the white non-Jewish community covered. They were scamming from everybody, equal opportunity, right? So when you guys hear certain things about, okay, crypto's a scam, because there were different senators in this whole thing talking about how Bitcoin and crypto is a scam, and the one dude who called it creepy dough and all of that. I'm trying to kind of arm you guys so you can be like, wait, here's some information that I can show you crypto's not a scam. Here's some information I can show you all the stuff that they're talking about with Binance or all of that. They're trying to blame it here on somebody else. Here's some information I can show you where it actually seems like the U.S. government or different people from the SEC were involved in this being a scam. So I kind of want to arm you guys with the tools where you can educate others about crypto, hopefully bring them over to the Blackrue investing channel, give me a couple extra subscribers. There's that too. There's definitely that selfish part of it too. But hopefully you can educate the folks about crypto. You know, share the channel, share the Gentleman of Crypto channel with them, and be armed with the things that'll tell them, hey, wait, all the stuff that people are saying about crypto being a scam, it's not quite true. And the type of crypto, like Sam Bankman-Fried and the tokens that he made with FTX and with Serum on Solana, that's not what crypto really is. Look at Bitcoin. This is what crypto actually is. Look at Cardano. This is what crypto actually is. Look at Algorand. This is what crypto actually is. So I want to arm you guys with the tools here. And I know a lot of people is so tired of hearing about this whole FTX thing, but it's really good that we go into some of these things like derivatives and stuff like that and kind of know what's going on, because the whole derivatives market, I wasn't really educated on that in a great way. And I was glad when King brought that up, and he's like, okay, this is what happened. This is what's happening with the derivatives market. Like, so they're basically manipulating Bitcoin without even holding Bitcoin by creating an entire different market based on if Bitcoin goes up or down or not. And with the creation of that market, they can actually affect if Bitcoin goes up or down or not without even holding it. It's crazy. That whole thought to me is just insane, that they can create an entire market, make money off of it if Bitcoin possibly goes up and down or not, and then influence that market with people like CNBC and different people, and influence that market to go up or down or not. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. So I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, but believe me, we're going to cover different aspects of it that'll make it worth your while. I promise you. I promise you we are. Digital ID may be the only utility you could get out of NFTs. Very good point, Rain Mac. Very good point. Rather we waste all the money instead of buying BTC. There's a lot of that out there for sure, or other tokens with proper utility for sure. Man, if he ain't talking about traditional business eating hot ones. Oh, my man's Rusted Shack over here. If he ain't talking about traditional business eating hot wings on YouTube or basketball, I'm not overly impressed with his opinions. I understand you. I feel you. But a lot of people would think, okay, Shaq's a good businessman, or, you know, Jay-Z is a good businessman, or Kevin O'Leary is a good businessman, right? I should really value what they say. And King, I know King and Zay get into this a lot, but I mean, I don't think you can say it enough, right? You think all these guys are really good businessmen, but when you really get down to it, they're just a front man. They're just paid faces to get people to do what they want people to do, and they put these people in this place for a reason. Just like SBF, in my opinion, he's a paid front man. He wasn't the dude making the whole like all these moves behind the scenes. Somebody else was doing that. Somebody else was making those moves. Because you notice every time he talks about crypto in a deep level, it's on his Twitter. Someone else is making those moves, and that's very clear in that whole like I showed you guys. I made a reaction to that interview. The where is it? Not that one. It's over here on videos. I hate that they separated these, by the way. Check this out. The SVF versus Bankless interview. You can totally tell that Sam doesn't know anything about the things that he quote unquote proposed and put on Twitter. He doesn't know anything about it. But he's skilled enough in the art of deflecting and the art of misdirecting that most people who aren't educated, like the gentleman, the crypto crowd, would not know. But it's good that we point these charlatans out, these front men out, and just let people know they need to be informed. You know, you got to be informed. Watch the gentleman of crypto. Watch Blackrue investing. Watch the crypto visor. Watch good people like that Chico Crypto who've done some good research. And hell, BitBoy even called out Sam Bankman-Fried. You know I give BitBoy grief, but he did some good work on this. Watch the people who is doing these good works, and when they need to be called out, like how BitBoy needs to be called out sometimes, call them out. Where were we? Shaq said, I only did it because Steph did it. Right. And that actually um, calls into that actually makes me think of another thing, right? All of these Bored Ape Yacht Club things, right? Steph and Shaq and all these different people supposedly hold them, right? It sounds like another FTX thing to me. Like they were paid to say that they hold them, but did they really spend their own money? I truly don't think so. This is my speculation, and I'm not the only one who speculated that. Definitely come over here and watch my video about the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's on here somewhere. And I referenced a video where a guy went through, he did some excellent research on the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing. So yeah, check this video out, Bored Ape Yacht Club. You see that in word there. I'm not going to say it. Glorifying NFT project. So check that out. They do some serious background on it, and they speculate that these stars who say that they actually own Bored Apes don't actually own Bored Apes. So that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. But now know if Stephen Curry and Shaq are attached to something, that might just be a front man attachment. They were paid to say that they are attached to it. They didn't really buy it. They didn't really do anything. They were just paid to be a front man. So just know that. Where are we? Seriously, people, stop listening to anyone with experience in a certain field. Just do a little research and boom, you're an expert. What's up, Better Understanding? Yeah, they're great puppets. Great puppets. They have the strong suits, but yeah, you can't waste time on paid spokesman. We can't get time back. Got our kids to think of, so I only invest time where the EOI is the highest. I bought 4 Trump NFTs and 1 the Zoom meeting. Nice. Attached to ball. Oh, well, we can get into the certain conversations about that on Rockfin, but I have a belief that something like that does exist. People like to use the blanket term conspiracy theory, but understand that term was even come up with because they didn't want you to investigate certain things. But that's all I'm going to say about that. The term conspiracy theory was invented to make us not investigate certain things, to shame us. Like whenever something is labeled conspiracy theory, that's to shame you out of looking at it. But that's a whole nother even can of worms right there. ROI, got you. No problem. I thought that's what you meant. Speak the truth to the light and watch them fade. Yes, sir. Don't be surprised if you have another SBF coming with Trump NFT. You know what? I honestly think that they took some time to plan out what they were going to do with SBF. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to comment on Epstein or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happens where SBF, quote unquote, offed himself, quote unquote, but we'll never know if he actually offed himself, right? We'll never know if that's what actually happened. But all the things will be there. Like, oh man, he was shamed. He made all of these different things. All the signs and all of the proper boxes to check will be there. But will Sam have actually done it? I don't know. Who knows, right? Who knows, right? Yeah, but that's it. Let's see if we got any questions from the crowd. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to get up some questions because I know we started a little late over here. So while you guys are bringing up some questions, I think we properly covered Binance, but definitely go check out some of these videos if you want even a little bit more to know. Like this Richard Hart video, I definitely think you guys should watch the entirety of this. Rain Mac was saying that he was off his game here, so I'm gonna have to watch a couple Richard Hart interviews and maybe do like a whole Richard Hart interview compilation video, so to speak, and do some comments on it. But I always thought Richard was smart, but for this interview for me, it really was like, okay, nah, dude's really smart, really smart. Like I would actually pay to see him debate certain people because that was thoroughly entertaining. This is thoroughly entertaining. What else? We got Chico, we got Crypto Visor. I don't know about y'all, but do any of y'all watch anime? I'll be watching this Mob Psycho 100 anime, and hopefully it doesn't play because I don't want to get a copyright or anything. But anyways, I might have to start a little anime channel. Like, all right, see Virgo El Unico. Give one more minute for any questions, and if anybody doesn't have any questions, we'll be out. Let's close that so it doesn't start. DT Trump folded the previous number one spot. All he did was introduce people to holding a wallet. I personally believe they're gearing up. Bitcoin will be king. Peace. Yep. Peace. Peace. Virgo El Unico. Yeah, I truly believe Bitcoin will be king too. I'm even though I'm the altcoin guy on this channel, I am definitely mob psycho is shit's lit. Yeah, brother, I love that. It's freaking hilarious. Made by the same creators of One Punch Man. I might have to have a little anime channel on the side, bro. Cause yeah, it's fun. Um, I think Bitcoin will be king too. That's why I'm trying to figure out. Okay, for real, stop them up. That's I'm trying to figure out interesting ways to invest in Bitcoin where I can get a higher value, a higher X, so that I can move the money into Bitcoin. Altcoins, of course, is a way to do that, but some of these altcoins are actually having great utility, like Ripple, like Algorand, like Cardano. So I like Litecoin. So I figure some of those altcoins I'm going to want to hold on to. However, when I look at things like CleanSpark, I look at things like Hive, different Bitcoin miners, different Bitcoin stocks like Coinbase. I might be able to get a higher X there so I can move that into Bitcoin and make more money like buying these. So when Bitcoin does go in the next bull run in 2024, 2025, when it does go bananas, these things will go even more bananas and I can move the profits over to Bitcoin. Because being a whole coiner, I think everyone should have that aspect or that goal at this point. Because I truly do believe at one point in the near future, maybe 10 years from now, maybe 15 years from now, we see $1 million Bitcoin. And if you're holding a whole coin, you're a millionaire now. But besides that, it's $1 million that you have control over. It's not $1 million attached to your digital ID card. It's not $1 million that's limited by carbon credits. It's not $1 million that's CBDC attached to your digital ID. It's $1 million that you can use on an app and go with the QR code and buy anything else you want. Use it for leverage yourself, certain parts of it, like take a loan against it. It's $1 million that you control, that is not in the bank's hands, that they can't tell you, okay, you can only use it to buy this. So definitely looking to be in the whole coiner in the next year. And moving investment gains over to Bitcoin. I think that's a goal we should all have. I think Zay and King and a couple of my friends, they're turning me into a maxi, man. They're turning me into a Bitcoin maxi. Yes, sir. Energy to currency, 100%. You can't beat that. The entire globe can participate. Goal should be 0.5 to 1 Bitcoin. That is achievable. 100%. 100%. And I really think that, and this is my own, it's not financial advice, it's my own opinion. I really think that the people that are holding Bitcoin are going to be very, very, very happy about it. And like we discussed, and Richard discussed, that Silk Road money, the US government is holding a whole bunch of Bitcoin. The Chinese government is holding a whole bunch of Bitcoin. So while these governments are around talking about crypto, this crypto is bullcrap, and Chinese government kicked out all their Bitcoin miners and all this different stuff, they're still holding Bitcoin. Chinese government's holding Bitcoin, US government's holding Bitcoin. So it's very funny because a lot of people will see these headlines about Shaq, and a lot of people see these headlines about Kevin O'Leary. A lot of these people see the headlines about XRP being a security or not being a security, and they're going to hold off on crypto investment. While people like us, people that are watching the Gentleman of Crypto, people that are watching different channels around, we are going to know better, and we're going to be in a way better position for it for to 5 to 6 to 7 years from now. So yeah, guys. Thank you guys for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it. I will catch you guys tomorrow or Monday. Have a good one. Peace.